What's going on, guys? It's Jazzy, and today I'm here with the Vice President of the United States of America. How are you doing today?
I am very well, Jazzy. It's good to be with you today.
Well, it's an honor to be here with you, and again, thank you so much for giving me this honor to interview you and meet you, and thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule of being the Vice President of the United States of America. I mean, this seems like a hard job.
Well, we got our days, yes.
Well, again, thank you so much for that. Well, in 2021, you became the first female Vice President of the United States of America.
Yes.
So what advice can you offer young girls that have dreams of obtaining leadership roles, especially in the face of gender discrimination?
Well, first of all, I will tell you, I eat no for breakfast. I don't hear no. I don't hear it can't be done. I don't hear, oh, nobody like you has ever done it before. And I don't want you to hear any of that. I don't want you to ever hear someone say, oh, you're too young. I don't ever want you to hear, oh, that's going to be too much work, right?
Right.
I eat no for breakfast. If you can see it and you can imagine it, you can do it, even if nobody has seen it before. But the point is, you never let it be your burden to be influenced by other people's limited ability to see who you are.
Thank you. And you have paved the way for so many young girls after becoming the first female Vice President of the United States of America, which is a huge accomplishment on its own. Just pointing that out.
Thank
you. You're welcome. And equality and being able to represent for the ladies too is very important, and I love the way that you have been able to do that.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Jazzy. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Well, Mrs. VP Harris, what are your 3 go-to items that you carry at all times?
I always have my blue pen. I often will carry at least a bag of pistachios because, sometimes I'm going so quick. Don't know when my next meal might be coming. And then I also have my binders, which are just all my briefing documents. So, yeah. What about you? What do you carry all the time?
Well, I always carry my lip gloss, a travel-size perfume because you never know what can happen, and also I like to smell good.
That's better than smelling bad.
True. So yeah, I have that, and then sometimes if I have enough time before I leave, I'll take like a piece of candy or something else.
Yeah,
right. I always keep tissue too because you never know.
I do too. I keep tissue.
You never know when you have to blow your nose.
This is true.
Yeah, you're right. And those are some amazing things to carry in your bag. I mean, a binder is also very important.
Yes, it is. It is. Well, we wanted to stay up to date on the issues.
Right. I always talk about the importance of self-care. And
yes.
I know that as the vice president, you don't really have many time off to really do anything for yourself because, you're helping run the country.
Yes.
But when you do have time to yourself, what is your favorite thing to do?
Well, I work out every morning, even if it's only half an hour. But for me, that's a time to just it's like mind, body,
Right.
and soul. So I do that. One of the things that I do that I find most enjoyable, and it just grounds me, is to cook Sunday family dinner. So whenever I can, to make Sunday family dinner for my family. That gives me joy, and it grounds me. So those are a couple things.
I love to hear that, especially cooking. I love cooking with my mom, so
Yeah?
yes,
What
I
do you
understand.
cook?
Well, we usually like to cook breakfast like pancakes, eggs, things like that.
That
but
sounds good.
That sounds very awesome that you're able to do that on Sundays too. That's really fun.
I do try.
And self-care is very important, especially after working so hard.
Yes.
You definitely deserve at least a little break for yourself because if you work too hard, then you'll end up burning yourself, just tiring yourself out from working so hard. So it's important to take a little time off sometimes.
Thank you.
And
I
also,
appreciate that.
Sometimes we have to hit the reset button. You never know.
That's true. My team, did you all hear that?
Right. Remember, guys, hit the reset button sometimes. Well, thank you.
When you turn 18, let me know. Come work for me, okay?
All right, I got you. I would love to. It would be an honor.
Okay, we got a few years, but we'll get it done.
Thank you. If you could have dinner with anyone in history, who would it be?
Oh, goodness. Lots of people. But you know who I've been talking about a lot recently is the former Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall. So when he was a lawyer, he fought for the right for all children to be educated together and not separately. And when he was on the Supreme Court, he fought for equality and justice. And what I always loved about him, I never met him, is that he understood how you could take the passion from the streets to the courtrooms and make real the promise of freedom. So if I could have dinner or break bread with somebody, that would be one of the people at the top of my list.
Wow, well, that sounds like a very inspirational person right there. And I read a little tiny paragraph about him in school, and it was very inspirational.
Right?
And the fact that he decided to actually fight and advocate for integration and making sure that all schools and all children have the same kind of opportunities is very important.
That's exactly right. And you know, that kind of fight we all have to stay focused on. We can't take it for granted.
Yes, you are absolutely right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, who is one female that you look up to?
Well, the first and the longest is my mother. Although, you know, as I got older, my mother was only 5 feet tall. So, but I still looked up to her because even though she was 5 feet tall, she was kind of like 10 feet tall in my mind, right?
Right.
So, but my mother definitely would be the first and foremost.
Well, you looked up to her, but you didn't look up to her.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah, I get it. Don't worry, that's the same thing with my mom.
Yeah.
Also, shouts out to all the moms out there. You guys are amazing, and I love how I think there's all moms in general that have that kind of fire in them to just protect their children at all costs, but also making sure that they teach their children important lessons.
That's right.
And I love talking to my mom because she's always able to make everything into a lesson.
Yeah.
So I love that she does that, and I think all moms do that,
Yes,
if anything.
that's what we do. We see a moment and can understand that, okay, there's something good to learn from this, and then sometimes the lesson is something to, you know, like do differently.
Right, exactly. Well, many families are concerned about student loan debt, and some kids worry about how they'll be able to pay for the student loan debt in college.
Yes.
So what plans are you and President Biden developing to ensure that young people have access to education without overwhelming debt and financial burdens after graduating?
So student loan debt is a pretty big issue affecting a lot of people, and so what we have done is said that we want to forgive student loan debt for people who've been carrying that debt for a long period of time. We want to eliminate that debt for public servants like nurses and firefighters and teachers, because God knows we don't pay them enough as it is, right? And so that's the work we've been doing. So far, we have forgiven over $60 billion in student loan debt for over 4 million people.
Wow.
And I will tell you that we also have made the student loan debt forgiveness available to people who couldn't graduate. And you know why? Because
Why?
think about it. Some people had to drop out because they just couldn't afford the tuition. But they still owe the student loan, right? And have to pay that back. So we want to make sure that we also give them relief.
Yes, and those changes and that plan can definitely help brighten the future of our future stars. And
right.
honestly, I would believe that it would be very hard and difficult if you have to pay a ton of student loan debt after graduating and you're working an entry level job that barely pays you. So that would be very difficult for someone to pay all of their student loan debt. Also, I know that there's a lot of people out there who they hesitate to reach to higher education because they are afraid of the student loan debt and the cost to go to college.
That's right.
So that's something that I feel like no one should have to worry about.
I agree with you. We want to make sure that we encourage people to pursue their dreams, to pursue an education, to do what they want to do to better themselves. We want to create incentives for that, not disincentives for that.
Yes, and nowadays higher education is very important to get any job.
That's exactly
so
right.
we should be uplifting people and pushing them towards, hey, maybe you should go to college because you can get this degree to get the job that you want. But if there's a lot of student loan debt and, like loans and everything that you have to pay in order to get into college, then a lot of people are going to hesitate to even go there.
Yeah,
so that's
true.
something that everyone has to
true.
think about.
You're right, and I think that you raised a really wonderful point. Most jobs these days that can allow you to earn a salary that allows you to have a certain quality of life require some kind of education after high school. And for some, it may not be college, it might be a trade school, it may be other things. But we want to encourage people to do what they want to do to take on the kind of jobs that they want.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Well, what is the top song on your playlist right now?
Well, I am still playing Cowboy Carter. And
Wow.
I probably, what's the latest? Tell me what's the latest.
Well, on my playlist.
Yeah, tell me. What do you listen to?
Well, I mostly listen to like rap and R&B, so it's a mix of both. I think right now my playlist is either I'm trying to think of who's on my playlist right now. I think I
Like
either
who's
have
young and hot who you love? Like who should I be thinking about? I need some. We count on the young people to tell us like what's the latest dance and what's the latest music. What you got?
Vice President, appropriate songs. For you.
well
Appropriate songs.
appropriate
for you.
song. Well, usually I just listen to Lil Baby and Cardi
Yeah.
B and
Okay,
Saweetie. So
good.
I listen to
All right.
rap and R&B too,
Yeah, me
like
too.
LMA and Bert Fayez.
Uh-huh.
So Bryson Tiller too. So
Okay.
anyone
Okay.
that you really want to. But that's a good song, the Cowboy Carter song. That's a
It's
very
good
good song.
one, right?
Yes, it's a
Yeah.
very good song.
It's a good, yeah, it's a whole, she did a bunch of them, so it's a whole album. Okay. All right. You got to keep me posted on who's
All right,
like
I
the
got
hot
you.
new music, okay?
I'll send you a list. Don't worry.
Because sometimes that information doesn't come through the White House, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I got it. I'll send you a list. I'll send you a list.
Okay, I'm serious.
I got you. Well, can you please share some words of motivation to everyone watching my show?
So just know that you have the right to be free to live a good life and to be you. And just be you. And you just dream with ambition. You lead with a sense of purpose and know that we are all applauding you on. You are with a community of people who care about you. You are never alone, and you just have to know that, even though sometimes it may feel that way. Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Madam Vice President. Well, everyone, I'm here with the Vice President of the United States of America. And until next time, jazzing out. Thank you so much.
Look at you.